Let me ask you something. When the last time you made $1,000 in a weekend with just your van, some bungee cords, and a blanket? I did last weekend, and I sang karaoke in the process. Peace, everyone. Welcome back to Gigonomics and Cargo Van Owners. What if I told you there's a weekend side hustle in your city right now with vendors desperate for your help? I'm talking about small business owners with pop-up booths. They need help hauling racks, signs, tents, and bins every single weekend. But here's the kicker. 90% of them don't own a van. They either overloading their own SUV, begging a friend for help, or wasting money on rentals that they can't even really drive around comfortably. And that's where you come in. This niche is wide open. It's called pop-up vendor logistics. And it's one of the easiest, most overlooked ways to make real money with your van every single weekend. Let's talk about why this works. The pop-up culture, it's a booming culture. You see it at places like farmer markets, food truck festivals, even your cities and towns be hosting events. All the homemade craft fairs, flea markets, they have wellness expos, fashion expos, food expos. There's so many different pop-up events. These events, they happen every single weekend in cities. I don't care if you live in the suburbs or whatever. They happen all across the country every single weekend. Most vendors, they go to 2 or 3, even 4 events a month. Some even 2 in one weekend. But again, they don't have vans. And they stuck, struggling, trying to move things, just easy like things that you could throw in your van. Clothing racks, tables, shelving, boxes of different products, tents, banners, chairs, drinks, coolers, fans. I mean, it's endless, all kind of things. They need consistent logistics help, not just one-time help. They need someone they can call every weekend. That's recurring income for you. What you'll be moving. Here's what a typical load look like, and it's not crazy heavy either. Most vendors, the setups, they will include things like folding chairs, folding tables, even the booth backdrops, banners, lightweight racks, display shelves, plastic storage totes, pop-up tents, and normally they be like 10 by 10, the little fold flat ones, clothing racks, hangers, chairs, coolers, signs. You're not hauling pallets, so you don't need a lift gate or no pallet jack. Just space in your cargo van, maybe some moving blankets, straps, and a willingness to be on time and respectful. The best part, these are repeated clients. You're not chasing 20 jobs a week. You secure 2 to 5 solid weekend clients, and you locking in some good money just for the weekend. Let's talk money. I know that's the big part of it. Most drivers, y'all undercharge because they think like gig apps. But this is a service. This is not a gig. And you got to be mindful of that. It's a difference when you providing a service versus running a gig. You helping small businesses. They expect to pay for your reliability. So they business owners. They know the cost of doing business. And as long as you're respectful and you're reliable, they know they have to pay for that service. And here's what you should charge. Round trip deliveries, like same day pickup or drop off, 100 to 200, just depending on the size of the load and of course the distance. You could do setup assistance. If you help unload and set up the booths, you add an additional $25 to $50. You could offer full weekend packages to where you could drop on Friday, pick up on Sunday, and you could do something like 300 to 500 for a flat rate. Just think about it. One client, 2 quick trips, that's easy money in your pocket on either a Saturday, a Sunday, or both. Then you could do add-ons. You got things like you can offer weather protection, so meaning like tarps. They got wet blanket protection, even wrap. You could do things like emergency turnaround or late night pickups. You could bring a helper. That's going to be an additional $50 to $75. You could do bulk discounts for multiple weekends or months. And here's a bonus tip for you. Stack your schedule, handle 2 to 3 vendors at one event. That's $1,000 plus from one location. Finding clients. So you don't need a website. You don't need to run ads. You just need to go where the vendors are. Here's how to get clients fast. Visit weekend markets near you in your city. You got to walk the event. You look for people that's doing the event. You get there early. Try to get there super early so you could see who's struggling when they unloading. Or if you get there in the afternoon, see who's struggling to load up. See who's making multiple trips, bringing chairs, bringing tables. See who's using a SUV. See who's using a car. And you go in there and you give them your little spiel. You give them your speech. You can search Facebook Marketplace. You want to look for things like local vendors, farmer markets, pop-up vendors, and specifically to whatever city you in, you can look for Etsy sellers, or you can leave flyers at places like Michael's, like little craft stores. You could try fabric shops. You could do event venues. You could do definitely boutique shops, and just think about it. Boutique shops have pop-ups every weekend. You could use Instagram and Etsy. You should have your social media set up for your delivery business already. But you can find local sellers on Etsy, Instagram, and you DM them directly. You can offer a risk-free trial, like a free delivery at a flat rate for $75 or something, just to build trust. If you talk to 10 vendors, I guarantee you 3 will say yes, because this is a real pain point for them. You speaking directly to their pain points. You speaking their language. This is what they need. They just don't know how to find them, or haven't took the time to search for them, because they have a SUV or they have a pickup truck and they making multiple trips. You could come in as a convenience, as a service, as an assistant, and help them and get reoccurring money every weekend. So this is how you're going to stand out and get repeated clients. Once you get a few clients, a few wins, it's how you keep them coming back and referring you. Again, you want to show up early. Vendors hate late people. Like, you can't be late for these events. That means leaving early. You want to bring blankets, tarps, things to protect their items if the weather gets bad, and do this without them asking. Be prepared, be professional, dress decent, act like a business, not just a guy with a van. Keep a clipboard or get you like a branded invoice. Just little simple touches like that make you look professional, and it equals more trust. Or also, you want to offer weekend packages, like 4 weekends booked, they get an additional 10% off. If they refer a vendor, they get $50 off their next delivery. Just something like that. And here's another bonus tip. Ask these vendors to tag you on IG. They post in these chats and they talk all the time, and word of mouth spread fast. And if this is your niche, this is what you're doing, you want to be in that conversation. You want to be in that talk. You want to be tagged in those posts so your business gets some light. This is one of the most slept on cargo van niches. There's a few out there, but this is definitely one. And it's happening every single weekend in your city. You don't need no apps, no middleman. You ain't got to worry about AI. Just real people, direct pay, and consistent money. You want to break free from chasing Roadie, GoShare, or whatever app you're doing that's underpaying you. This is where you start. You could grab my pop-up vendor starter kit below. I'm going to put a link in the description. Inside of it is going to include a pricing template, a vendor outreach strip for you, and a flyer. Some examples of a flyer anyway. You have to critique it yourself, but just an example that you could print today. If you need more creative ideas for your delivery business, watch my full senior errand delivery video. It's out now. Link is up here somewhere. We're building real delivery businesses over here. You don't need more apps. You just need a better strategy. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, get to your hustle. Peace.